Hello and welcome to Living with the Landspeeder, where we Starwarsify Disney parks one attraction at a time. I'm your host Orion, joined by my good pal Derek and my other good pal Katrin.
Oh, he was first.
He was first. Wow.
Let's go.
I've never been the other good pal.
I know. I
must have done something really wrong.
No, I just thought, hey, I'll change it around to make Derek, jump with joy.
Man, that made my whole week.
Yeah,
Katrin's the podcast mistress. He's the other one.
And the other guy here tonight is David Dollar from the Main Street Electrical Podcast.
Hey, I'm here. Woo!
Woo! And we're back, and the D23 has happened, and we're going to talk about that after we Starwarsify something.
You didn't mention that David Dollar's our first repeat guest.
Yes, I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
No one else said yes.
I was gonna say, I was
It was like last
minute, which is fine. And I worked it out and everything. I was able to get here, through all kinds of backdoor means, but I'm here, and so I'm in. I'm good.
And it goes to show you that if you repost our stuff, we invite you back on the show.
Yes. I need to repost it more often. I really don't as much as I should.
No. We've got you on because you were the king of D23. I was watching it live on that really good crack stream that somebody had going on, and but you were on it, and David's the expert with this stuff. So
I got an entire blog up about it on uponastar.com. So like an entire article about all of it. So that's actually what I'm going to be referring to tonight when we talk.
Love it.
Nice. Yeah, we knew we were going to talk about D23, so we had to have an expert.
Had to have you on.
Right. And then of course everybody else said no, and I was like, I can do it. And so good. We're good.
Yeah. That's it.
We called Josh
I told them no, and they're like,
"What?
"What? Well, maybe David Dollar can take your place." I'm like, "I'm back in. I'm in."
Bob Chapek did call us to say, "I'd love to come on," and we're like, "No, we're good. We're good."
Wow.
I would have Bob Chapek on our podcast.
Kidding.
If you were available, I would have him, but he would not like my questions. They'd be fair, they would be honest, they would not be mean, but I would have lots of questions, and he would not like it. So,
but I thought we would do a smaller attraction tonight, so we'll do that first, and then we'll dive into all the D23 craziness. Some good, some bad, some up in the air. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, there will be no throwing of chairs. No,
there's some things
crying,
like cloud
screen. Anyways, so tonight we decided
all around
to it's all around us to do the Astro Orbiter that's up in the clouds at Magic Kingdom.
Yes,
in Tomorrowland.
Yeah. Yep. This is also ironic because the other show that we had David Dollar on was also Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
that's right. It was Tron. It was Tron. When I
think that was
the Death Sticks, and that keeps coming back in other episodes. So
yeah. That was a live show, I think. So you have to go, if you're on YouTube, you have to go over to the live thing and it'll be on there.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being live. I believe you. I just don't remember it being live.
I think it was live.
So, but
it might have been.
I don't
probably started off
live.
But.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, we're all over the place tonight.
All good.
We're so excited because David's here.
It's Astro Orbiter. How can you not be excited?
Astro Orbiter. This is the one. I was thinking about this earlier. I think this is the one attraction in all of Disney World that I've never been on.
What? My wife's never been on it either, but
I've never been on it.
It's the queue.
What?
It's the queue. Because in Disneyland, this ride is on the ground.
Yeah.
It's on the ground. It's easy. The queue is just insufferable.
I've waited I remember waiting in the line with my wife and kids, and we waited so long that we said it's not worth it, and we got out of the line and left.
Right.
And it's sort of out of the, like, you have to know where the queue is to get there, and then you have to wait in the line, and then you have to go up an elevator and then wait up top and then get on. So I may have been on it when I was younger, but I don't remember it because I just never want to wait in the line.
No, you have to do it at an after hours event. That's the
that small switchback, and you have to do the elevator, and you're corralled in. And so if you go on it like in June or July, you're just in there in the elevator with everybody else who's hot and sweaty, going to a ride. And then when you get to the top, there's another corral under a little canopy, which is still stifling hot. Then you get in a fiberglass rocket in the middle of the sun, spin around, come back down the same elevators. And the queue is awful. It's just such a bad thing.
How are we going to make it better, guys?
Or at least
Star Wars. Maybe not.
We all have some ideas.
We're going to Star Wars
be better. Yeah.
Oh yes. I mean,
it's a verb now. StarWarsify. I like it.
Yeah.
And then on a t-shirt.
Take that, DC talk.
Love is a verb. Starwarsify is a verb.
So, who wants to? Let's just jump right in. Who wants to go first in Starwarsify the Astro?
I'll go.
Orbiter.
Okay.
Let's do it.
He's mad that I didn't put him first before you, Derek. So he's like, "I'm going first."
Everybody's.
You should be mad. You guys have been friends a long time, but it's fine. I'll take that spot with pride.
Just a 1 week thing. Just a 1 week only.
Oh, now I don't care. Now I'm glad I have a layover in Houston and won't see you.
My attraction is called Mandalorian Flight School.
Oh man.
So first we're getting rid of the whole elevator experience. The queue is transformed into the caves of Mandalore, and you're being trained to use your very own Mandalorian jetpack.
Oh.
So the ride mechanics are basically the same, except that instead of a rocket ship, you're boarding a ride vehicle that requires you to lie flat on your stomach. And just think about like the Pandora Flight of Passage or Tron, where you're having to kind of except you're laying fully down. And you're locked in. You've got these controls at your hands, and you've got like a backpack on, kind of.
Yeah,
so
like
then
Superman at Six Flags.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's the first of its kind at Disney World. But you're lifted into the air because you're starting at the ground. You're lifted up, and then you can, of course, control yourself going up and down, and you can turn. Why not? Do barrel rolls if you want to, and you can also push these buttons that you can simulate firing rockets. It just makes noises. And the middle of the thing, though, and this is where it gets weird, but it's
Grogu, a giant Grogu.
No, it's the armorer is just in the middle. Just a huge armorer just in the middle. Ching, ching, and she's telling you what to do and how to operate your jetpack and everything. But that's it.
Huge armor.
Fantastic.
I love it. Cater's on this thing where he wants to do like huge helmets and stuff.
Yes.
So huge armor,
larger than life.
I thought you were going to say you had to put a jetpack on to get up there now. I was like, there's no more elevator. How do you get up there though?
Well, that's the thing. It just starts on the ground. They've just redone it. Maybe you have to go down under the ground now, but you've got for the queue.
You have to think about where it is outside the people mover. So where the cave's going to be, I guess, under the ground and whatever.
Sure, why not? Yeah, but the arms are above it, so it's picking you up and like it's like a claw. No.
Did you destroy? Did you destroy the people mover for this? Is it gone?
No, it just fits. It just
fits. It just works.
If you don't ask the other side between Carousel of Progress and Buzz Lightyear, you could put it out there and extend it out kind of where that meet and greet with Buzz is.
Yeah, sure.
Get like a ramp that goes around.
Yeah, they've already got a cool ramp up to people mover. Why not?
Yeah.
That was great.
We like it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
You're ready?
For it. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm ready to go on that way.
Oh, then fine. I'll go. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay. So, one thing that Disney loves more than making rides that are already done is having a sponsor for a ride. Correct?
Yes.
We all know how much Disney loves other people to pay for rides. That's where our friends at Hasbro come in.
Oh,
because Hasbro has a wonderful game based off of the hit game Loopin' Louie, where they rebranded it and it's called Loopin' Chewie.
Nice.
This is a real game. So if anybody wants to get on Google right now, you can buy this game. It's not in production anymore, but you can get on eBay and stuff. But Loopin' Chewie is out and about, and he's going, and I'm reading this directly from Hasbro. He's going to come after the stormtroopers with his piloting skills. Every time he flies by in the Millennium Falcon vehicle, he'll be out to knock out another stormtrooper. But if you can flip him out of the way with your paddles, you go after someone else's stormtrooper. So basically what it is there's these little pods there's these little discs, and Chewie flies up, and if you can hit him away from your disc, then he hits someone else. Whoever has the most discs in the end wins. Well, same thing, because the other great thing with Disney rides that are only mediocre is make them a game. So as you're going up and down, now there's little like stormtrooper things, and as you hit the stormtroopers with your now Millennium Falcon, you get extra points. You got your little digital readout, and you can have Chewie in there doing his voices, and you can have C3PO counting the scores, and I think it'd be a really fun way and a pretty inexpensive way, and they could have like little stormtrooper statues up there. They could even extend that platform a little bit more. And it's really cool overlooking the Magic Kingdom. So
I like it.
there you go. Hasbro is sponsoring Lupin Chewy.
You know, it would be cool because I'm looking at the picture that David Dollar sent us. If they took Hasbro can still sponsor it, but if they took the style of the Star Wars Adorables, and use that for like the Millennium Falcon,
he sent us Lupin Louie, but if you look for Lupin Chewy, it looks like that.
Okay.
So Lupin Louie had 4 sections. I had this game and it was so good. It was like
somebody.
Yeah, it was so good. But Lupin Chewy only has 3 sections.
That's cool. I like your idea about having the screen and having some interactive elements to it. I didn't even think about that because I could add that to mine where as you're flying, you're going through like rings or something like on video games. You know, you go kind of fly through rings and do.
And they could even make it fully enclosed.
Yeah,
I mean, or somewhat enclosed.
Wait, I didn't know.
It took me a second. I was like, "Oh, it is a real game."
I didn't know it was a real game.
It's a real game. Folks out there watching, it is a real game.
I thought I heard you say that, but then I was like, I didn't hear him say it's a real game.
Well, as soon as you said it, I could see your screen light up, Dave. You're like, I don't believe this.
Yeah. So Lupin Chewy is a real game.
It's a real game. That's awesome.
It is really cool. I should probably
it's out of stock at Walmart, by the way.
It is, but there is some on
eBay has it.
Yeah, eBay has it for like, not too bad. Like $12, $13 on eBay.
I want this.
One of y'all should get that so we can play it.
It's a really great game, but Lupin, like I said, I just wish it had 4 sections instead of 3.
Bring it to the thing whenever you guys come again, and we'll all play it together. Okay, who's next?
You are after
you are.
All right, so yeah, I'll go. So, I understand that we don't want to mess with the structure of the ride itself because that'd be kind of cheaty. You can't level the ride and rebuild it. So, we're going to take the structure of Astro Orbiter, except we're going to make it taller, like maybe 150 feet tall. We're going to have a tower, basically. Okay, this is going to be called the Cloud City Roundabout. And basically, take the elevator all the way up. The elevator's air conditioned. It's got a nice air conditioned, whatever, and the queue is covered, so you can actually walk in the queue and everything. Elevator goes all the way up. There's 2 levels to this because Disney does not have many lounges. Because like Cloud City, there's like 312 layers. This is 2 levels. The first level is actually a lounge, and because you're so high up in the air, you have like visuals. You actually can see out around the park. It'll be great. Go up to the next floor, and the ride is up there. And you got Cloud City cars. It's got 2 people per vehicle, basically, one here with a little thing in the middle. The pilot can move the ride up and down or kind of back, like up, like side to side like this. You can't go, all over. It is still the spinner or whatever. And the gunner is the one that has the controls in terms of gunning. Now, at daytime, it's not that big of a deal. You just go around, you kind of go back and forth, whatever. At night, however, there will be projections that will fly out that you're able to basically shoot TIE fighters. The pilot has to lock on and steer. The gunner has to get them. And it's kind of a point game system. The trick is during Halloween, not only do you have TIE fighters, you're also looking for Luke's hand. Somewhere in that ride, one time, it's like the golden snitch. It's going to appear for like 5 seconds and then disappear. 5 seconds, just here and there, just randomly. You're going to try to find the hand. And if you get the hand, you basically become like the cosmic astronaut, whatever. You get the 1,000,000 points and you win the whole thing. And there'll be like a scoreboard up there. Who found the hand tonight? Who found the hand? Whatever, most points. And so it's the Bespin City Roundabout with a lounge on the bottom, with a ride on the front with the Cloud City cars. At nighttime it's the best because you can see all over the park, and also you're shooting the projections, and maybe even throw in the lightsaber too because the lightsaber's down there somewhere, right? And so so that's my idea for the Cloud City Roundabout.
And then when you get off the ride, you can have some death sticks.
Exactly. Well, I'm thinking because Magic Kingdom is shifting, it's 2024. We're in a new era. They probably will have Billy D. Williams there with some Colt 45 smooth malt liquor at the lounge.
Perfect. We're adding alcohol.
And if you wear a cape, then your first drink's free. And so because Billy D.
free at Disney.
So, the whole idea of finding the hand is great. It makes me think of finding the pickle in the Christmas tree. So I think that's a new tradition we need to start. Is like start hiding a hand in your like a small hand in your Christmas tree, and
Severed hand.
who found the severed hand?
It'll be like the Rebel Spy at Star Tours. Like there'll be people that go, "Oh my gosh, I see it every time," and some people will be like, "I never see it. Every time I ride it, I never see the hand. It's right there." I mean, you'll hear people screaming all over, "There it is! There it is!" and trying to get it and whatever. And it's just it just kind of randomly appears, Luke's hand. So
that's great.
The Cloud City Roundabout.
I love it.
Love it.
Well, you guys, each person has had great rides tonight,
Mhm.
which means it's my turn. And
bring us home.
I'm breaking some rules tonight because D23 inspired me to break all the rules.
Oh, here we go.
We know how he feels about it.
First I thought about doing a ride, but I didn't like the placement of it. I was like, it needs to be in another park. First, I thought about doing the helicopter like things that the Wookiees fly in.
Yeah.
But then I was like, nah, it doesn't go there. So what I like that you had a lounge in yours, because here's the thing. I'm leveling the top there. There's not going to be a ride up there anymore.
Okay.
It's going to be a like the restaurant in Living with the Land that rotates.
Garden Grill.
Yeah, Garden Grill.
Yep.
There's going to be a rotating lounge that's going to look like the lounge from Solo, Dryden Voss's party room or whatever. And it'll be rotating, so no matter where you see you're going to sit or stand, you're going to have a good view. But it's going to have like he has like the museum of all his stuff in there. It's going to have all of that, and this is going to be like a fancy upscale lounge. And that's because I was like you guys, getting up to that ride is ridiculous. So we'll make this make it worth it. So you're still going to have to wait to go up an elevator. But there's going to be less people that are allowed to go up there because you got to make a reservation. How many days in advance, David?
60
days in advance. So you're not getting in.
Right.
You're not getting in. So it's going to be like an upscale lounge in Tomorrowland. It looks just like it does in Solo with all the cool things. There's going to be a droid walking around. There's going to be
Kira.
She'll be there.
What's the name of your lounge? Because I think mine's going to be called Lando's. Just quite simple, just Lando's or Lobots, one or the other.
I don't know what it was.
Slacker.
It's just Dryden.
There's no ride. There's just no ride.
It's just no ride. It's just a big lounge.
Oh,
yeah.
Very Disney of you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I thought,
I love you, Disney, though. That's a thing. I'm just saying this.
Every other park has a lounge. This one needs a lounge. So I thought
we're getting a lounge.
And I've never been on it, so I'm like, I don't miss it because I've never been on there.
Right. You wouldn't miss it if you were on it. It's fine. At night. It's actually a nice ride. It actually is it's a cool ride when you see the ride itself at night and everything. It's just the whole getting up the thing is obnoxious. And even with the DAS pass, it's not available on the phone or in the app or anything. So you actually have to walk up to the cast member and say, "Hey, we have the DAS pass." And typically they will just let you into the elevator versus having to wait the line. But that's a whole conversation thing you got to have. So it's it's just it's a ride that if it went away, I would not be sorry. I mean,
agreed. Yeah, I rode it during an after hours event, and I was the only one on the ride.
Yeah, we rode ours at night too.
So. it was pretty fun.
Solo, a Star Wars lounge.
That's right.
There you go.
So it's just going to be a big fancy lounge, maybe DVC only. I don't know. Probably not.
So lounge in a game, that's kind of like point systems. I think that's how we fix this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And
there we go. There's our little. Now, if this is your first time listening, because maybe it is, we usually spend a lot longer on the attraction. We go into detail, but we did a small one tonight because D23 happened, and we want to talk about all this park news, everything that's supposedly coming in the next 5 to 7 years,
sometime
3 to 5 years. I would say 3 to 5 years is where we're gonna see most of it, honestly.
But before that, Home Depot has the animatronic Darth Vader and Stormtrooper again.
Stormtrooper so bad.
Everybody's getting them, and they are so horrible.
Oh, really?
Oh,
the Stormtrooper doesn't look that bad.
I don't know. Maybe
Pictures
I think when they're together, they're fine. But when they're putting them together, it's like, oh. So for anybody out there, I didn't know if anybody was wanting to get one.
I'm saving my money for the Halloween audio animatronic Ugnaught. That's the one I want. Yeah,
All
the short
right.
one. Yeah. He has a platter. You can put drinks on and stuff. It's great.
Perfect.
For Christmas, there's going to be a 6.5 foot tall Buddy the Elf that you can put next to your tree.
I just want that every day.
I mean, make him the tree.
Yeah. All right. So sorry to interrupt. I just had to throw that in there. That's a little news.
D23 did happen. We're not going to talk about the whole D23 because that would take forever. We're going to focus on, I call it the parks panel. They call it something different now.
It's Disney Experiences. Yes, it's the showcase. It's the parks panel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
And Fortnite.
And Fortnite, apparently.
So weird.
First off,
I'm
just going to say my opinion. I did watch the, I guess it's an illegal stream of it, right? Because they said
they definitely let that person do it because
there's a bunch of people that did.
There were several people streaming.
Yeah,
but they were on like the extra Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
There
was one guy I was actually watching, and one of the guys was like in the middle of it. And he goes, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry, my phone's at 1%."
Yeah,
we were watching that,
and it died right in the middle of the performance, so I had to switch over to somebody else.
Yeah. The guy I had like 70,000 people watching.
Oh yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, I think there was so much. I want to say there was probably backlash to them not streaming it at all because they did the thing with Fortnite, so the Fortnite people got to see it immediately, and so I'm wondering if they kind of eased up a little bit on the that's if you guys stream, we're not going to tell you to stop, you know, and Fortnite gets the official stream, but you guys can do whatever you want to do. It's fine. But
it's Fortnite. From watching the stream and hearing from people that were there, I thought that I don't know if the right word would be overdid it, but with like all the musical numbers and all the orchestra, I just felt like I don't want to sit through all this. Just tell me what's going on.
I have a theory on that. I do have a theory on that. My theory. Okay, so first of all, you'll notice that they did not, like in years previous, it's like, here's Disneyland, here's Disney World, like 2 minutes. Here's Disneyland Paris, like 20. Here's Disneyland Hong Kong. And they do like section by section, like whatever. Well, they mixed it completely up. Like you didn't know what was coming next. First, back to Disney World, Disneyland, back to Paris, whatever. I also think they put the artists in there to kind of give people a chance to post. And to get on Twitter and to get on TikTok and to stream or whatever, to give people that break because it was coming fast and furious. Just do this and this and this and this. Okay, here comes All for One singing, I swear. And for me, I was very thankful
Boys
by
to Men. If you were in the chat, it was Boys to Men.
It gave me a second to figure out like what we're doing. Like, okay, I'm trying to do put stuff on stories and everything because they'd announced one thing. I'm still in the previous story, and so it kind of gave me a chance to basically catch my breath. And I think that's my theory of why they did that. I mean, it didn't need to be 3 hours, so maybe they probably overdid it a little bit with the musical stuff. But at the same time, I'm glad they did some of it because it gave me a chance to kind of breathe and just a chance to like, okay, what are we doing here? Let me check Twitter. Let me check whatever. Okay, I'm gonna post and because it was a lot to keep up with.
It's funny. Nobody knew it was going to be that long, and when you got to the Honda Center, you weren't allowed bags in, so they had a thing where like a bag check where you could leave your bags,
right?
And they said we'll be here until 10:30, so make sure you pick up your bag before 10:30. Well, the panel went longer than 10:30, so everybody was freaking out that they weren't going to be able to get their bag. They were like rushing out of the place, and I guess they got word that it was going over, so they stayed open. But people were like freaking out that their bag was just gone.
I don't think I would have worried because they wouldn't keep 12,000 bags overnight. I mean, it's of course they're going to get your bag. I don't know.
It's California.
I agree.
That's true.
But okay, so there was all that, and I guess I was trying to put the kids to bed, and I'm like, just get on with it. I don't want to hear somebody sing something. I just want to know what's going on. Okay.
I thought maybe they were hints at one point because the first number I saw was when Meghan Trainor was singing Tuppence, right?
That was the Walt Disney audio. So
and it was really good. And I was like, are they going to announce
and
Mary Poppins next?
Yeah.
Well, and I am definitely not a fan of hers whatsoever, but she knocked it out.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, did you guys catch the All for One joke?
Yeah,
because
it was right before the 4 boats.
Well, not just that, but I mean, Damaro was talking about like how this stuff is coming. And one of the things at the top of the show, for people who didn't see it, one of the things that people have been really on Disney, and truly, this is deservedly so, for doing the blue sky stuff for the last 2 years. It's like, this is what we're thinking about. And Universal's like, hey, we're building the theme park. We got some coasters. We got Harry Potter. And Disney's like, hey, we think we're going to do this. And we think we're going to do that. Yeah. At the very top of the show, Damaro was like, everything you hear about tonight is in production.
Yeah.
Everything, dirt's being moved or whatever. And he said that several times in the night, including right before All for One, we made a comment about, hey, I know you guys heard a lot today, but trust me, it's coming. And then, of course, you hear, I swear. So I'm like, then I'll let it to the joke. And kudos to those guys getting that check. Yeah. Because I'm sure the Hunchback, song is not going to kind of carry them very far anymore. Not like Elton John and Lion King. So good for them for getting that check, man. Good job.
Sure.
That was great.
And then, of course, John Stamos kicking it off. I love me some John Stamos. And, he got a little weepy there, too. He was pretty emotional about that.
Is he a Disney legend? If he's not, he needs to be. I don't know. Let me find out.
I mean, he was in the parade on Full House.
I feel like he would be, but I don't know that for sure. I mean,
maybe he will be.
So,
okay, let's do this. Let's start, since there was so much, we don't have time to go through everything. Probably. Let's start with. I mean, if you guys do, then you do. Let's start with your top thing that you saw. What was your favorite thing that you saw that they announced?
Wow, I'll go first. I mean, I have some top things. The thing that did shock me was Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
I actually said some expletives because I was like, that was mentioned years ago. I thought that was long gone. And if you really want an in-depth kind of look at this, they just did their podcast for Traveling with the Stars, and it was great. They covered everything. So we're just going to touch on some stuff, but I think that was my biggest shocker. But what really, I got very angry after they did the like the ships and the Fortnite thing, because I'm like, they're not giving us villains. We're not getting it. I was actually angry. Like, I was getting
a lot of people were angry. I was watching Twitter blowing up.
Yep. And I'm like, this is a disaster. This is why they didn't stream it, because they knew they weren't going to give us what we wanted. They aren't doing enough. And then the mirror came up and I was like, game over. Like, we knew, but it had to be official.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for it.
I don't know if you caught it or not, but right in the middle, right before they did the Cars thing, is when Josh was like, you guys been waiting, whatever, beyond the mountain. And then he announced Cars. And I think that's when everybody was like, this is when he's supposed to announce the villains. He's not. And like on the stream, I heard booing. I heard people booing.
Yeah.
And the applause was very muted. It was like, I mean, just like, we're like,
it's like,
there's no villains. And so when the mirror came up, one of the things, because he's like, I hope you guys have had a great time tonight, whatever. Mirror comes up and goes, Josh, you have neglected a promise you have made. And of course, everybody's like, ah! Yeah. All of us included.
My wife was asleep and I like laid in bed and go, she woke up. She was like, okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. I'm getting texted. I'm getting messages. I'm sitting at messages. I'm like, villains. Holy crap, villains. It was great. But,
well, since you mentioned Monsters Inc., let's start there.
Okay.
Let's just talk about that for a minute.
Where's it going to go? Is it going to go where Lightning McQueen is? Is it going to go where Indiana Jones is? Is it going to take out Muppet Vision, or is it going to be Launch Bay?
It should go to Launch Bay.
It should go to Launch Bay.
It's a stupid area that nobody uses. I mean, people go in there to see a couple of characters and some lightsaber hills, and that's it. I'm afraid of Monsters Courtyard, and I've read the articles and people talking about it, how the infrastructure there is already built, where the buildings are there, the restaurant's already there, there's a water tower there, because they want to do this brick facade of Monstropolis, and so it's all already there. And I'm like, I want to say they would not do that, but it is Disney. People have a muted response about Tom Sawyer. Some people are okay, some people are not. I feel like people are going to go J6 on them if they do the Muppets. It's going to be the backlash is going to be severe.
If you look at the model for the ride, the facade, the front, like the entrance of the model, is almost identical to Launch Bay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's where, because it makes sense to go there, because there's nothing there, and they could do that without having to disrupt anybody. Because I mean, the Little Mermaid thing's coming open. I don't think that Disney Junior would last much longer. Maybe it will. Maybe that Launch Bay will be the entrance to Monstropolis, and everything's behind there.
And that's what I'm thinking, because everybody's like, well, they'd have to get rid of that. I'm like, just because there's an archway doesn't mean that's the entrance. There's tons of buildings that aren't being used back there that were the animation buildings.
Or they are letting this rumor about Muppets float around to figure out what people are saying, to decide, how do we want to do this? How are we going to get smacked around? Coming off some great vibes from D23.
Yeah.
We already told them about Tom Sawyer. People don't like that. So what are going to happen about Muppets? Which I would not be surprised if Disney's doing some of that kind of.
Yeah, because they were kind of quick about announcing or not announcing. Well, yeah, just saying what they were going to do with the other things, like with the Cars Land and all this stuff. So with this, they've been really slow. So you may be right. Maybe they're just trying to see how people feel about it.
I think they made those.
It's a bigger project too.
2 concept arts look like that on purpose. They wanted one to look like it was Launch Bay, and they wanted one to look like it was Muppets, so people could talk about it and argue about it, so they could be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't touch Muppets. That whole, I know you got the Play Disney thing or the Disney Junior thing back there, but that whole area back there, I mean, it's just waste of space.
Sure.
Right.
And something needs to go there, whether it's monsters or not. That's the thing that irks me is about they take a beloved thing at Disney and they're like, we want to get this new thing in, so we're just going to tear that down and put it there. When there's lots of other spaces at Disney where they could put stuff, where there's just lots of empty buildings around where they could put stuff, but they choose to tear down something else because it's a new cool thing. Right. So I really hope they don't tear down Muppets, but I don't even know if there's enough room back there.
Well, in the favor of not tearing them Muppets, they just redid the theater. They redid all the seats. Yeah. They just redid the projection. So, and I don't know that it costs that much to do it in the grand scheme of things. They've got $60 billion to work with. So throwing, $50,000 at it probably didn't kill them at all. But I also know Disney, and if they know something's closing, they stop working on it. Hence the Great Movie Ride falling apart. Dinosaurs probably gonna look like crap by the time it's about to close. I mean, stuff's gonna stop working altogether. So
why would they make it that long? I don't even know if it will.
I think it makes it till probably until spring, because they're going to start working on Dino Land this fall. But I'm guessing they're going to do where Primeval World is now and it's fenced off. Start working there. There's nothing there anyway. It's already fenced off. Start putting stuff there. Then take out the Chester and Hester. Then the Boneyard. Let Dinosaur be the last, because that's what everybody's freaking. I don't want to say freaking out. People are okay with it, but that's what everybody wants to do is Dinosaur. Ride Dinosaur one final time. So that's my guess.
And he made a big deal about that too, right? About you'll get one more time to ride. So that sounds like that one's going to be around the longest compared. They didn't mention anything else. Like you can go play in the playground. No.
Well, they had to get people there if they're starting it in the fall, because they're already starting to move the trees off of the top. That's just a way for them to get. I mean, I almost booked a trip. We were looking at it. It's like,
Oh, I was trying to figure out if I could go for a weekend, because that's my wife's favorite ride at Animal Kingdom. I mean, it's
you mean Triceratops spin? I mean, I love it too. I understand.
No, Dinosaur. I mean, we've ridden it and gone back on before again. It's like we love it, and we'll love Indiana Jones, but it's just something we've always loved to ride. So, but we're not going to go.
All right. So we talked about monsters. Do we want to move over to Tom Sawyer Island?
Well, let me say this about monsters too, and I said this on the Main Street, which you mentioned. We were on the YouTube show that me and Jen and 2 others. A lot of that audio is going to be on the Main Street Electrical podcast on Thursday, because why do 2 shows at the same thing? But one of the things I've hearing people say is like, "Oh, I can't believe Disney didn't come up with something original. They're going back 20 years or 25 years and getting a concept back then," which, because Monsters Inc. was supposed to come around 2000, 2001, recession happened, they pushed it off. So what? It's a great idea. Go get it. And now it's going to be even better than it ever would have been 23 years ago. It's going to be fantastic. Stop complaining, because this is a great idea. Now, with that time frame, we may not get Mary Poppins until 2048, but at the same time, it's going to be awesome. But no, I mean, it's okay. Let's do it. It's going to be a suspended coaster. Josh said the claw's going to pick the door up and move it. It's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited for this.
Same. I'm super excited.
It
looks cool.
That kind of coaster is going to be cool. And not that they're just going to go out and buy one of those, but that technology is already there. So it's going to be easier for them to make and put it into a ride, which hopefully will.
It would have been a copy of the Disneyland ride, more than likely, if they brought it to Disney World, just in the car and moving around, whatever. So,
Well, let's move over to Tom Sawyer Island, and I'll start with this because people's got a lot of feels about this with cars. Ryan's one of them. He's got a lot of feels. Here's my thing. If you can tell me in the last 10 years how much time you've spent on that boat and how much time you've spent on that island.
That's not the thing for me. That's not the thing for me.
Here's my thing is that the parks are super crowded. And we know they're crowded. And that is the most real estate that is available in any park. that is wasted space. Like, it's beautiful, it's fun to look at, but Tom Sawyer Island's a waste of space at this point. And those stories don't resonate with people now, with younger generations. And that's the thing. And this is where, like, you can say it's classic, it's all this stuff, it's still telling a story. Those stories are gone now, and we have to move on. Like, I'm sorry. This is my opinion.
I think I could still read Tom Sawyer, only it's gone.
It's not, but Tom Sawyer is.
But it's not something that kids are going out to go read real quick, because it's like, oh man, this is Tom Sawyer. They're going to play Fortnite or something, or do other things.
And even Cars, even though Cars has been out a long time.
Sure.
So, am I a little bit sad nostalgia wise to see it go? Maybe, but like. And I know a lot of people are complaining like this. The Wild West has nothing to do with Cars. I'm like, they were going out west. Lightning McQueen was trying to make his way.
Most of the first movie of Cars takes place in the West, a frontier land town that's dried up. I mean, it's
I'm super stoked for this whole thing. I think it's because they might increase park capacity a little bit, but you have to think we're getting a nighttime parade, and we still have the fireworks at night. So only a certain amount of people can fit in that main area. This is going to be a massive crowd suck for the rest of the parks during the day. I think it's great. Thumbs up. Massive thumbs up.
Now for the opposite side. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing that with parks, with Disney in general now, because I have a 6-year-old and I have a 9-year-old. My 9-year-old was watching it with me, and the Cars thing came up, and they said it was going to be in Frontierland. And of course, at that point, at that moment in time, people were like, "Oh, it's the Beyond Frontier." And I say to my son, who's 9 years old, "So what do you think about that?" And he looked at me. I didn't prompt him. I didn't say anything. And he said, "What does Cars have to do with Frontierland? That just ruins the theme, and I don't like it." And he goes, "I'm tired of Disney just doing away with themes of stuff so they can put more," as he calls it, of their cartoons and stuff. And this is a 9-year-old, and he likes Cars and he watches Cars, but he was like, "It doesn't fit there for me. I don't like it there." And then when they said where they're putting it, then he's even more like, "Oh yeah, it's right in the, that ruins it. That's not Frontierland. That's Cars." And so for a kid, that's Cars, not Frontierland. And he loves Big Thunder, and he loves Splash Mountain. And now he's just like, I don't. I'm like, "Do you want to go on it, the new one?" And he's like, "I don't know." Even my daughter, and she loves Tiana, she's like, "I don't know." But so, and then looking at the map, and it's just like, so you're gonna have Haunted Mansion, Cars, Big Thunder, and Tiana. I would, when they first announced the Cars thing, before they said the Frontier, I was like, "Oh, cool, Cars, that'd be cool." And then they said Frontier, and I'm like, it just doesn't fit to me. And I feel like what Disney's doing, and they have the right to do it because it's their money. Universal has announced a park. Disney does not want to make a 5th park, so they're saying, "Where can we just?" Yeah. Well, they're like, "Where can we just cram a bunch of IP stuff in so we can say, oh, look, we've got Cars, we've got Monsters Inc., we've got this, we've got that." And they're just cramming. They're like, "Well, here's space." I'm fine if they needed to, because I've looked at some other reports, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done to the water system there and the river. And yeah, if you want to put something in there, I mean, when we go to Disney, and this is just my family, the rides that we're hitting up and the kids are loving are not IPs. They're Big Thunder, they're Pirates of the Caribbean, they're Haunted Mansion. I mean, some of those have been turned into movies, but they don't know them from those movies. Jungle Cruise, all these, I think that it would have been cool to even go back to the original thoughts of Frontierland and have the big Western area that they were going to do there.
You think that the old Westerns, like, again,
well, they could have went the national park route. They could have went more like that and built something new. And instead of just being like, "We got Cars, they were on Route 66, that's sort of in the West, let's do that." And that's what it feels like. It's like, we need to put Cars somewhere. Well, there's already Big Thunder in the background. you know.
Right.
We'll just put it here. And the art cracked me up, because if you look at the art, like the Frontier stores and stuff, that's not Walt Disney World. That's like France or Japan. If you look at them, they just took a different park. So part of me is like, was this supposed to be in an international park and then they moved it over here? Because the artwork has like all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So again, it will be really cool because Disney does stuff cool. I just wish they'd put something different there. If they were going to tear that up, tear it up. It's fine. Just
like
I wish
a Star Wars attraction.
better.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, we did Tom Sawyer Island. All of
You're gonna have
really
a bunch of
cool
these
stuff.
episodes coming up in the next 5 years.
some cool stuff.
That's right.
Patron, what are your thoughts on this? Because I have thoughts too, but I don't want to yet.
That's fine. I think I like the idea of having that play area, right? And that's what I think is unfortunate that we're losing. I think it's going to be cool. We still don't know what it's exactly going to look like. I feel like it's this mashup of concept art that's there, and they're vague on purpose because they got to figure it out how it's going to work. And I think and then you're also losing maybe the water feature, because that is a cool part of walking past the water. I think that'll still be there to an extent, right? There's some water in the picture, so I think it'll be there. I think they can make it work, and I'm not too upset about it being gone. It is kind of a weird fit, but I think they'll figure it out. And like you said, they are going into the West with cars, so I don't know. There's just a lot of what is it exactly going to look like, and it'll probably be fine. But again, it's using that piece of land that nobody's really been on. I've never been on the Liberty Bell or whatever.
Oh, really?
And that's like the most expensive per capita thing at Disney.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
I've heard that
it's
extremely expensive right now for Disney to maintain the water and maintain the boats because it's old technology. It's water. Sure. I wish there were a way to keep the river, and keep the river boat. Honestly, I'm okay with losing Tom Sawyer Island. I know why people miss it. And I know I have several friends, especially with special needs children, that go over there, and it's not busy. It's the one place where they can chill, have a playground, and run around. I get your point, though, Derek. That it's empty space. Basically, they could put 3,000 people there versus the 200 that go an hour, maybe. I really wish there was a way to do drawbridges and keep the riverboat. I understand you can't. Maybe even keep the river and do like Animal Kingdom, where you have the oasis and they have the bridges across, just in a riverboat. I get that. And to Derek's point, I understand that completely. I know, like, in thinking about it, the generation that's growing up now, that grew up in the 90s and 2000s, they grew up with Pixar and with the 90s animation and stuff like that. And this is what they're remembering. So Tom Sawyer means nothing to them, honestly. Yeah. Cars does. Monsters Inc. does. Star Wars does. That kind of Lion King, whatever that does. And so we're the nostalgic old people going, we love Tom Sawyer Island and we love the whatever, blah, blah, blah. And all the kids are like, I don't care about that. I want to hear, I want to hop on some go-karts, right? Whatever. To Ryan's point, however, there is some nostalgia that we're losing. This is kind of the essence of Magic Kingdom, because every Magic Kingdom type park in the world has that river in the middle of it, and we're losing that. And I think that's the big deal. And it's almost like, if it wasn't cars going in there, if it was something else, and I don't know what, I'm trying to think of something else that would go in there that's more traditional than cars, I think people would be more okay with it. But I think it's like cars.
Yeah.
I liked cars when I was 9. I don't care about anything cars now. But I do think it's good that this goes to Indiana Jones and some of the other attractions they're looking at as well. Avatar, which we haven't talked about. They're not duplicating the attractions, which Josh was very quick to say, this is not Radiator Springs, which I like. I want exclusive stuff out there. I want exclusive stuff here. I don't want the same Indiana Jones ride, which they said it's going to be a completely new adventure, probably the same ride track, but a completely new adventure. This is not Radiator Springs. It's just Cars Land or something like that. And I'm ultimately fine with it. I do miss the nostalgia. I'm going to miss the water. I am going to miss the river. There's just something about that. Having that river there is just great.
I think they're still going to do something with water. I mean, obviously it's not going to be to the extent that it is now. And don't get me wrong. I love Tom Sawyer's Island because I used to go over there when I was a kid, but looking at it now and looking at it in economic point of like,
but 1972 was a long time ago, Derek. So you can't.
I was born in '85, y'all. I'm way younger than you guys.
Again, you think about the Thunder Mountains theme too, and it's like this old timey frontier land, and so it is kind of weird. How's it going to fit in with the other? But because it did kind of fit in with Tom Sawyer in a way, right?
Right.
But
nobody ever said that Frontierland had to be the old West where there's no technology or anything.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
Frontierland can be a new frontier of just this Western type theme. And again, that fits into the first Cars movie. It's, and I can't think of another movie that could go there if you're doing an IP that would be that Western other than Home on the Range. I'm not sure they're doing an attraction for that.
I mean, you could also, you could also argue that,
bring him in.
Sorry. The Adventureland is doesn't have a congruent, theme going through. I mean, you've got Jungle Cruise and Pirates, and then Aladdin, and then Tiki's, and so it is kind of mix and match. So.
Well, I also thought about Lion King too, but Lion King, people would wonder why it's not going into Animal Kingdom if they did Lion King, and they're doing Lion King Land of Paris anyway. So, I think it's almost like you're taking a national park and putting a strip mall on top of it. Nobody went to the national park, but everybody's going to miss it when it's gone. Everybody will go to the strip mall, even if they're complaining about going to the strip mall. Strip mall shouldn't be here, but I'm going. Yay!
That's right. It's here. Might as well go.
Yep. Well, moving behind this whole area is going to be villains.
Yep.
How do we feel?
Excited. I would have given D23 probably a C+, maybe a B-, had they not announced villains. I think villains to me jumps it up from a B+ to an A-, like somewhere in that range. I don't think they could have gotten away with not doing villains, especially when they threw Cars out there. You can't throw out Cars and not do villains. I think that people would have just gone ballistic because they've been promising it they've been inferring it. They never said villains. Nobody from the company ever said villains. We all said villains. So we're all like, villains are gonna coming, and Disney never said it. So when they announced Cars and did not announce villains, I'm telling people in Messenger, I'm like, hey, Disney's never said villains. I don't know what they're doing. People are going crazy right now, but they never said they're doing villains. They should have, but they didn't.
Wow, that was quiet. Yeah. So is there any room in villains for non-IP things, or do we think it's just going to be all IP?
All IP.
I don't know what they could do that wouldn't be, but
there's some great IP. I mean, like you look at
for sure,
like Fantasia.
Yeah, this is where the traditional Disney comes in. You don't have a lot of Pixar villains that are like old school and really. I mean, Zurg maybe. But people want to see.
I don't even know if they'll have him because he's not going to really.
No, they won't. They want to see Ursula. They want to see Scar. They want to see Dr. Facilier, who is not in Tio's My Adventure. He'll be in Villains Land. That's what people want to see. And on Halloween party nights, that place is going to be lit. Yeah. It's going to be insane. So
rocking.
There's going to be two rides or one?
Thorn roller coaster.
And if you look at the artist rendering, it looks like a Maleficent coaster there. And then they'll do another ride. And they said shopping and dining and such. And I think it's going to be cool building it where they're building it. They'll have room to expand it. And I think that'll be one of the first ones they expand in 10 years because they'll have room for it and it'll be so popular. So I think this is a win all the way around for Disney. They can't. I say they can't lose on this.
Just wait. They always find some way. Here's my beef with it. Okay. Here's my beef. For so long, for so many years. I mean, I forget when they first started battling. The Kingdom Keepers have tried and tried over many. I mean, they even had books about it because of their adventures. Have tried to keep the villains subdued in the park, and now all for nothing. All for nothing.
The Overseers win.
Yeah. They've led into the Overseers, and they're going to let them have their own area.
Well,
maybe this is their way of keeping them to their own side.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying he rewrote the books? Like he basically updated the whole series to
there's new ones out.
I'm gonna say like 5 years have to redo it again. So.
That's just funny. Like when they first announced, that's what I thought of. It's like, oh no, the Kingdom Keepers have failed.
There's so many spin-off series. I got through 3 books, and I'm like, I can't read them.
I'm reading them with my son, and he's loving them. But it's funny while I'm reading them, like in my mind, I change stuff because he's not gonna know what certain things are called or what, because it was the parks were different back then. So I just in my mind go, oh no, I'm gonna go call it this because that's what it is now, and he'll understand that. So
what is Body Wars?
No, but I think if they do it right, it's going to be cool. If they make it creepy, if they make it spooky, if it's not just a place to come and meet and greet, like if they go in full, like they did with Galaxy's Edge, if they go full in and make it like when you
Rude
go
people.
It'll be as scary as the Haunted Mansion.
Josh was saying, like, it's
going
to be edgy. It's going to not be your typical Disney.
Right.
It's like the Dick's restaurant. You know, you go in, they're like, sit down. You don't need a menu.
Like
ice cream, here you go, kid.
And I hope they don't, like, I'm sure they will at some point, but I hope they don't just try to cram in all the villains where it's like, see, we got all the villains in here. Like they make it like I can't talk. They make it, you know,
like the First Order. What are you talking about? Like,
no, like they're not like, here's all the villains and you can just line up and meet and greet them all. Like there'll be sections like Maleficent sits over here, like in this section, and then there's like maybe I don't know if they'd move Gaston over from the Beauty and the Beast area. Probably not. But you have the Queen.
It also allows them to roam around the rest of it too. It's like, oh, they filled out. That'd be
Well, also, I imagine them doing something like a villains hall where they do with the Princess Hall, where they have like random villains or certain villains there you can meet in their own little cubbies, I guess, and they can rotate different villains in and out as they see fit. Halloween party comes around, suddenly you're getting Prince John and you're getting the bowler hat guy and some of the rarer villains, you know. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of Maleficent, Evil Queen, the Queen of Hearts, which will be theme wise. I don't think you're not gonna see characters walking around because they get mobbed. They can't do that at Disney World.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I can see them having specific meet and greets set up to meet certain villains, and
it'd have to be in a
Jack
cave.
And Sally would be over there for Halloween. So I'm sorry.
It'd have to be in a cave though.
Yeah.
The Cave of Wonders.
Oh, now the Cave of Wonders.
As far as Magic Kingdom goes, I am a little disappointed they're not doing an update for Carousel Progress or anything in Tomorrowland.
Sure.
Yeah, but Tomorrowland's around the world got the shaft of this D23.
Yes. Yeah, they did. But yeah, I'm kind of with David where A- for the whole thing.
Yeah. I think Villains is something that can compete with Epic Universe as a whole. Because Epic, and the only reason I'm saying all this, I've talked about this ad nauseum all week on various shows. So like I'm very verbose in what I'm thinking at this point. With Epic Universe, Ministry of Magic is gonna be cool, but it's basically one ride and some decorations. So it's great. Dark Universe is gonna be cool as roller coasters. Universal has no history. They have no nostalgia. They have nothing that ties people to it other than that's a cool coaster. This is great. I love the coasters. I love the whole coaster. Nothing. Disney does. Now they can't really tap into a lot with Cars, or even Encanto, which is so recent over in Animal Kingdom. But with Villains, you're talking 50, 60, 70 years of animation. People have grown up with these films. These kids have grown into adults, into young adults who love the Villains. I think Halloween, this ticket's going to sell at first. The first Halloween this Villains is open, those tickets are going to sell out so fast for Halloween, and they're going to charge like $250 per ticket. It's going to be insane. And I think honestly, that's the one thing that really can compete with the Epic Universe. I mean, people are going to go to Epic, obviously, but and they're going to love the coasters and stuff. But there's no foundation that Universal has. Not now. Maybe when 20 years from now, kids will be like, I grew up on the Hulk ride, and I grew up on Harry Potter ride, and whatever. But they don't have that now, and they have to wait to get there. And so I think Disney's really going to have a home run with this. I think this is a big deal. So
I wish Disney World would get Walt animatronic. I'm really excited for it in Disneyland, but I want World to get it too.
Yeah, I kind of like the exclusivity, but I get it. I want to see it. So yeah.
How many pennies are going to be thrown at him? That's what happened with the Lincoln when it first opened. People thought it was a real person, so it was like, no, he's real, see. And they would throw pennies at it, and then it wouldn't react because it's
I'll be more impressed if people have pennies.
But that's just
the penny machines. People don't have to put a penny in the penny machine.
Right. They're like, we'll do it for you. Here's your bucks. Pay $5 or whatever. Get all 4 pennies.
So that are they going to rotate that? Is that what's going on with that one?
It's going to be Walt for a while, and then they'll rotate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Avengers is also coming to Disneyland. 2 new rides. They're going to double the size of Avengers Campus, which is going to be cool, with King Thanos and Avengers Infinity Defense. And then the Sum of All Fears is going over there to be Stark's test lab or whatever it's called, flight lab. So,
yeah, that was that will make me vomit. So that I will not be riding that one. Of course, I don't get out there very much. But yeah, when they posted a picture and I saw the arm, I'm like, yep, not riding that.
I'm excited for that. I think that's cool. Yeah. Now we did miss one big thing that has to do with our show, and that's the new overlay for the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
Which I think is 3 years behind.
Right.
And I think they should just implement Star Tours into it, but because that ride, it's getting like 30-minute wait times now, 30, 45-minute waits.
They could have like 7 or 8 different missions and just randomize them. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like, I mean, just whatever. And you just happen to, I don't know, the Mando and Grogu, they could do an Ahsoka mission, they could do a Rebel mission, you know, return mission, whatever. Maybe one from each of the major films and stuff. Forgetting the prequel trilogy or sequel trilogy because those suck. And so, you know, but do more than just Hondo, and maybe just have Hondo just say something like, "You're on a." I don't know. You could do the coaxial stuff.
Well, Hondo never works anyway. So like,
true.
Take him out.
Oh,
he doesn't work
Hondo.
ever. I've only seen him like twice.
Oh, really? He's always. I think I only seen him one. Like he's only been gone once.
Oh man, I've seen him all covered up all the time. But
really,
you know, and I know they can do it because I just posted on Instagram. I reshared a story of that arcade game that you get in the pod that is out there now. Yeah. It's if you can even find an arcade, but you get in this like giant pod thing, and the machine moves a little bit, and you're going through, and it's like a high quality thing. If they can do that with an arcade game, they can do it with NVIDIA backing them, one of the highest stock companies in the world right now, backing them on this ride. They can do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the plan from the get-go, but because of the way the world has been, it was just like, that's good. It's good.
We're over that. So let's get to work.
But now they're back at it. So
I am excited for Mando and Grogu.
Is this?
But you won't see that overlay till like 2026 because that's when the movie comes out. They're not going to release that, until the movie close to 2026.
Right.
Yeah.
So will that be the start of the timeline breaking at Galaxy's Edge, where it's not going to be sit in this one?
They should just do the multiverse in Star Wars.
Groundhog's Day.
I think the days of the Galaxy's Edge timeline are numbered.
Yeah.
Especially with those Star Cruiser.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
everybody was hoping for some kind of something about the Star Cruiser. But I was like, they're not going to say anything.
Bulldozer.
Oh, it's still sitting there. Everything's still there.
I'm predicting in Destination D next year, which will be in Orlando. I'm predicting they're going to make an announcement at the Star Cruiser, whether it's a small hotel or they do some sort of lounge or restaurant or something with it or whatever. And I'm picking D23 in 2026 is when they make the Epcot stuff. That's when Mary Poppins is announced. That's when they announce new countries and they give all the updates on the opening dates of this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. So I think they've got some more things in the pipeline. And I'm not trying to be defensive of Disney because I have been very critical of Disney in the last couple of years of a lot of things. But I think they're on a very good trajectory right now. And what gives me hope about that is that everything is in production because I remember back when they were doing New Fantasyland, like in D23 in 2010, and all this new stuff was coming and they cut like a third of it out because every princess is supposed to get a castle and they were going to have like several different new rides and new things like that. And they were like, well, let's just cut this, and this, and this, and that, and whatever. And then a few years ago, the Spaceship Earth got gutting and redone. That got shot. And the Mary Poppins COVID, so that's natural, but still I like the fact that everything's in production right now, so hopefully we won't lose too much stuff.
I would really like to see an expansion of Disney Springs.
There's a lot of Disney Springs. So.
There is, but it's always packed.
Yeah.
It is always packed, and they've got room to do it.
Yeah, but if they did, it would still be packed. I don't think that's gonna. I mean, I'd agree with you. I would love to see more Disney Springs, but there's no not packing Disney Springs. The packing will just last longer, and more people will get in. They just need another garage, and maybe build a second layer. I don't know.
Ooh, there you
what
go.
Kind of things would you want to see in
just
Disney
Springs? More restaurants, more. I mean, they're always packed. Everything's packed. I like the old Pleasure Islands.
Yeah,
bring Disney Quest back and make it a retro kind of
place.
That's
where they could have put Cars Land.
Yeah.
But I remember using my fake ID to get onto Pleasure Island. Wait, what? Wait, no, what?
No.
What? It was never did that.
3 days before my 21st birthday.
I do miss Disney Quest, and that's what Disney does. They just empty out buildings and leave them there.
Recreate the void and put that there because you had 3 different missions for that. You could do that on one floor. Make one floor nothing but nostalgic old video games like the old Tron game, old pinball, and old 80s games and stuff. And you can do some sort of retro game. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but I feel like this is something Disney could easily put together without much effort, because all the games are out there. You just bring them in, and people would go nuts, and sell tickets for it. And you got to have a reservation to get in, and that way you don't overpack it. And I would.
Building's empty again, so
yeah.
Any ideas on where the lounge? You mentioned Epcot and Spaceship Earth, but the Spaceship Earth lounge. Any ideas where that's going?
Yeah, it's already there.
The lounge is now the VIP lounge.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
It's already there. If you're looking towards the entrance, there's like a row of windows that you see, like sort of below the ball, and that's where it is.
Okay.
So it's already there. They're just gonna make it look more high end inside.
Yeah. And then Pirates is going into Tortugas, so that Pirates Caribbean Tavern is going to go in there. So
are they going to allow alcohol?
Probably,
it's a tavern.
It's a tavern.
Non-alcoholic rum.
Give me an old duels. Take a Roll Rock.
Well, but now in Magic Kingdom, if you're having alcohol, it has to be with dinner. And so, is this just going to be a lounge where you can just get a drink?
Yeah, but you probably can't leave with it. I mean, my guess is you have to drink it there.
Yeah,
or they'll have like a little patio.
Or maybe they won't have any alcohol, and then when you go in, like Jack will be there and be like, "Where's all the rum?" Like in the movie, all the rum's gone. I drank it all.
Comfortable chairs there, and you're asking for drinks. You're like, "No, it's just a place to relax. It's a lounge. Go lounge.
Go lounge.
The rum they want.
It's the rum they want. Well, cool. Yeah, we didn't talk about Encanto, but that's coming too to Animal Kingdom.
I think that's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be cool.
I do too.
And the little carousel.
Yeah, the little carousel.
They said that's pretty much done. They already have like the carvings done.
Oh, they're working on. Yeah, they had some of them that they were showing at the expo.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. I think the Encanto idea, because originally I was like, "What, are you just going to walk through the house?" But with them focusing on the one room, really, or mostly on that room, I think that's pretty smart.
I think it's gonna be like a trackless ride. Ride.
I think so too.
Yes, because you're entering the casitas around the part of the movie where Antonio first finds out he can communicate with animals. Yeah, and the casita will move around you and everything. So I think there's gonna be some of that. And so,
yeah, maybe it'll be like Mystic Manor. It's our Mystic Manor.
Who
knows? And there's a restaurant going in there too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe so.
Right where
cool.
Dino, whatever.
Restaurantosaurus is not going to work there very much.
And then the Bugs Life is, of course, turning into Zootopia.
Hopefully, it's not what they're doing with that art. That was horrid.
My co-host Jen is so excited about that right now. She hates that ride so much.
Even if you hate it, that looks bad. But they didn't say in the Tree of Life. They said on Discovery Island, which is there.
It's going on the tree. It's going on the tree. So.
I know Jen gave me a nice shout out on the podcast about like how I'm going to be very upset about Dinosaur because I love to see the kids cry and freak out.
Yes.
Same thing with Tree of Life.
It is weird though. It's not opening up until winter of 2025. I feel like that's something they can turn around fairly quickly. So I don't know if it's going to be more than just a 3D movie, or if they're actually doing some stuff to that stage and actually making it an actual show, or I don't know.
I mean, they've got to do something with the look, I would think.
Yeah, but it's going to be in the tree, which would be exciting. I love Tiffy Buck.
You're shrinking down to the size of a polar bear.
I'd be happy to shrink down that much.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola.
I know on my waistline.
Be careful of the dolphins. They like people.
And with that, though,
I was trying to figure out where to go with it. As soon as I started talking, I was like, I can't finish this correctly. It's okay.
Is that it? Do we miss
so you started off with what are you most excited about?
Oh yeah.
We didn't really go through that. I'm most excited about the nighttime parade.
Oh yes,
the first thing I texted Ryan. I said nighttime parade. And because that's the one thing, another thing that we love to always go to is to see the nighttime parade. I will miss riding rides while there's fireworks, while people are doing it. So I said on our next trip, we're thinking about going next fall. So we might be able to see it. I was like, we'll have to go 2 times to Magic Kingdom. So we can go one night where we go ride everything, and then one night where we sit and watch the parade, because we love a nighttime parade.
Yep. Nighttime parade has always been my favorite part of the Disney day at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I think I'll tell a quick story and then we could go on. Way back when, a long time ago, when I lived in Florida, my grandmother, who was still alive, she was in her 90s, never been to Disney, anything. We brought her down and we took her to Ohana's to eat. And then afterwards, we took the monorail around, and we didn't have she didn't have tickets to the park because she's in her 90s. What is she going to do?
Right.
And we went up to the people and we said, "Hey, this is my grandmother. She's in her 90s. She's never been to Disney. Is there any way that she can come in and see the nighttime parade?" And they said, "Yes, we can do that." And we rolled her in a wheelchair. We sat on Main Street and we watched the nighttime parade, which I think was, it was either Main Street Electrical or Spectrum Magic. I forget what it was.
Probably Spectrum.
Yeah.
But she said this was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. And that Disney would and I don't know if Disney would do that today, if I'm being quite honest.
So don't go try this, people.
Yeah, but she sat in her wheelchair, the biggest smile on her face is like in a upper 90-year-old, and just had a magical time. And then afterwards, the park was closing, and we rolled back out. She's like, "Thank you, that was so amazing." And so I am so happy that we're getting a nighttime parade back.
Same. Now, there's still be a fireworks show, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
I was gonna say.
Sorry. Yeah. There's fireworks. Then if they do it like the old days, it's like fireworks parade or parade fireworks, whatever, and they kind of alternate that not during the night instead of having a couple shows a night, whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, definitely will be cool.
So much crowd again. The crowd maintenance.
And that's the nice thing. Everybody goes and gets on Main Street for probably 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
Like
I would imagine they'll do 2 parades. At the beginning, they'll have to do like 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock or something, because they're going to have to. It's opening up in summer, and people go nuts, and and they're going to sell probably like dessert packages where you can sit and watch the parade at a certain place, and make a ton of money by doing it. So
hey,
by all means.
But my wife's never seen a nighttime parade there because she's hasn't been going to Disney in I took her for the first time. So she doesn't have those memories. And like I have those memories of being a little kid and being on my dad's shoulders and all of that stuff, being the rude person. But and those memories were so important to me. And I even found one of our old videos from Spectrum Magic, and I'm converting it into digital.
Cool.
I love Spectrum Magic. It was my favorite parade, and it just, they destroyed the floats, so it's not coming back. But I do have a pin set with like little pieces of Spectrum Magic on the floats and stuff. They sold these pins for a ton of money. And I bought several of them or whatever, because I'm like, a little tiny speck of the fabric is so great. I own history. It's whatever. But I do love Spectrum Magic quite a bit.
Yep.
Well, obviously, obviously, like Main Street Electrical podcast. So.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we talked about doing Spectrum podcast. That was one of the names you talked about. We thought Main Street worked a little bit better. It's easier to say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we didn't talk about Avatar Land, which is
we pretty much kept it to Disney World. We did a little bit of land, but that's okay.
Yeah. Which is coming to California Adventure as well as a Coco ride.
I think it's going to Disneyland. I don't think it's going to California Adventure. I think it's Disneyland.
I think it was California Adventure.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was California Adventure as well, and then I reread some stuff, and it made me think it was going to Disneyland. But I could be wrong. It's happened before. I could be wrong.
At least twice.
Yes.
Well, the boat ride looks amazing, though. It looks like the same technology they use for the Pirates of the Caribbean in Shanghai. Right? So that's I'm jealous of that.
I've heard it might be something like the Pirates or over there, that all like with the tech and everything. It's gonna be centered around Fire and Ash, which is the new one coming out in 2026, and then of course Way of the Water and such. So so again, not the same ride, which I'm excited about.
Right. It's perfect.
But there's no ETA on that one. They didn't announce anything about when it would
probably
go.
Kind of blue sky.
21st.
So yeah.
I don't know where we'd go in Disneyland. I don't know where it'd go in. I think maybe it's a new plot of land that they just acquired. They just acquired some new land, and you'll also get rid of a parking lot.
Well, what we didn't hear about was Disneyland Forward, and I think we're going to hear a lot more about that next go around, because that's basically they're going to build the park will expand by like a third. They're going to put a ton of new stuff in Disneyland Forward, which is going to be around Disneyland Hotel in that whole area.
Yeah.
But the last I heard about Avatar is the possibility it may go into where Grizzly River Run is, and that whole area there. They would just close that and put it there. That's why I was thinking it was Disneyland. But again, I might be mistaken. I don't know.
Grizzly Run isn't. That's California Adventure.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, well then there's your California Adventure. Just kidding.
Yeah. And the rumor is that Coco will go where the Monsters Inc. thing is.
Okay.
That's the rumor for that. Anyways, okay. Well,
there's room over there to build another one. Just build another ride. There's room. Anyway.
I don't know. David, thanks for coming on last minute.
Sorry I co-opted your show because I talked a lot, as I tend to do.
No, it's fine.
Why we needed you on here.
Right.
Yeah. So it's happy I could get out of the garage and get up here online.
We are too. Very happy you could join us. And again, thank you for helping us StarWarsify, even though it's a small attraction. We got 3 great attractions and a lounge. So
no such thing as small attractions, just small ideas.
That's right.
What?
No.
Huh?
There's no such thing as stupid people. Stupid questions. Only stupid people that ask.
Yeah,
that's right.
I feel attacked.
And thank you for listening and joining us. Make sure you check out. I'm trying to wrap it up. Make sure you check out Main Street Electrical Podcast. David, where can everybody find you?
Find me on Instagram at @TheMagicOnlyDollar. And of course, the Main Street Electrical Podcast comes out every Thursday. So around the time this is going to come out, that will be coming out as well. And that is our full discussion on D23 for about an hour and 20 minutes. We break down everything that was announced at the park panels and stuff. And I think it's a pretty good show. So I'm excited. Derek's heard
the Main Street
the YouTube version. Podcast.
We did it really well, I think.
So thanks for having me on, guys. This has been great.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
Thank you.
The only thing we didn't talk about was
we'd be on like episode 50 or 68.
Yeah, we'll have you back on. We forgot to talk about Deadpool. That was the highlight for me at D23. That was really fun to watch.
Wow.
So good.
Yeah, it was so fun. But I guess it's not Star Wars.
Fix the Yeti.
Fix the Yeti. Yeah, it was really good. Anyways, but thanks for coming on. Thanks for everybody listening. Make sure you like, subscribe. Hit that bell if you're on YouTube. You gotta leave us a 5-star review if you can, wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll be back in a couple weeks with something new to StarWarsify at Disney World. See you next time on Living with the Landspeeder.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye from the first best friend.
Oh.